this is something we expected to see after Colorado. So Colorado issues that decision. We talked about it yesterday. My dad is in the studio with us today. And, Dad, I want to go right to you because we are now seeing Colorado, we're seeing Michigan, and a host of other blue states trying to take emergency action based off this Colorado decision, not to go to court, but just instructing, like in California, it's the lieutenant governor who's running for governor right now, instructed to the Secretary of State and said, based off this Colorado decision, can you just take this action alone as Secretary of State and remove President Trump from the California primary ballot? And people may think, well, he has no chance of winning California. That may be. But in a primary, that's a lot of primary votes that's very important to getting the nomination.
This is the greatest election interference in American history. The idea that you have a situation where a presidential nominee, who is actually leading the party right now, could be removed from the ballot, which is what Colorado says right now, and then you've got a series of other states saying, we're going to do the same thing. It has a dual effect. People that are supporting the president, former president, may say, well, he's not even going to be on the ballot, so I'm going to go to somebody else. That's election interference. And number two, they may not even vote. I mean, they may say the whole thing's already rigged again. Yeah. So, look, we are taking the most direct and aggressive action you could take. We represent the Colorado Republican Party. We are petitioning for the Supreme Court of the United States. Meanwhile, the California lieutenant governor is calling for Donald Trump to be removed from the ballot based on that Colorado decision.
She said, Dear Secretary Weber, this is from the lieutenant governor. She's running for governor right now. Dear Secretary Weber, based on the Colorado Supreme Court's ruling in Anderson v. Gridwald, I urge you to explore every legal option to remove former President Donald Trump from California's 2024 presidential primary ballot. And they're not asking necessarily that they need to go to court. But could the Secretary of State alone rely on that Colorado ruling and say, well, if Colorado believes it's insurrection, then I, as Secretary of State, which is what we need to explain, Colorado gave that power, the court, to the Secretary of State to declare that this was insurrection and he could be removed. So these other states are now saying, well, then we can do the same thing because a court now has adjudicated that now it wasn't a federal court. And I think, Dad, what they're trying to do is, like in Michigan, like in California, and I expect a few more will come quickly, they're going to try to do this in a few more states so it's not Colorado looking like the only crazy court that did this.
We have many of these leaders who are cheerleading and celebrating the Colorado court's decision are the very same people who are preaching their commitment to defending democracy. The hypocrisy is just it's overwhelming. They're proving their arrogance, and they're also proving their fear. They're showing through their actions and through their words how afraid they are of a free society, of a free American people who make our own decisions on who we want to elect to serve as our president and commander-in-chief. They're proving their arrogance in saying that, well, gosh, the American people are too stupid. They don't know what the right and best decision is. So we're just going to take that power away from them and make it for ourselves because we're the only ones who care about democracy. We're the only ones who care about freedom. And whether they realize it or not, they are destroying our democracy in the process. So for me, as we look at California and we look at other states that are sure to pop up in the wake of this Colorado decision to file their own lawsuits, and as the lieutenant governor of California said, do everything possible, look at every route possible to keep Trump off the ballot. It doesn't matter whether Trump is competitive in those states or not in a general election. The fundamental principle that's being violated here is these people in power are taking away our right to make the decision for ourselves as voters.
The most important election case in U.S. history. The election integrity of the United States of America is on the line in this case. I have assembled our Supreme Court team. We represent the main party here. Well, there's two main parties, the former president and the Colorado GOP. But let me tell you, the GOPs are the ones that are also really harmed by this because they're the ones that put up the candidates. Stand with us at the American Center for Law and Justice at aclj.org in our Faith and Freedom Drive. We've got a team going. We're filing this petition next week at the Supreme Court right through Christmas. our team's working. Your support of the ACLJ will make a huge difference. Go to aclj.org. Any amount you donate will be doubled.